The digital era in which we currently live opens doors to new forms of communication and information distribution. However, it simultaneously presents us with new challenges, especially for those trying to oversee data flow. In North Korea, a regime known for its unique approach to politics and citizens' rights, film censorship takes on an entirely different aspect. Here, the government strives to control not only the content of movies shown in cinemas, but also recordings from private cameras and mobile phones. What films are targeted by this censorship and why? Let's take a closer look at this unusual issue. Soul Train. This documentary film by Jim Butterworth tells the story of North Korean refugees' journey. The film sheds light on the dangers and difficulties faced by North Korean refugees as they try to escape their oppressive regime and find freedom in South Korea or other countries. It is a powerful and eye-opening look at the human cost of North Korea's regime and the courage of those who risk everything to flee from it. Soul Train has been broadcast on television worldwide. In the background, we only see a fragment of this documentary film. We can notice a family chaotically and resolutely trying to enter the South Korean embassy. Guards and police continuously try to push back the assault, necessitating the use of considerable force. The situation takes place in China, and the people trying to break into the embassy are North Korean refugees. The film quickly became popular on the internet, depicting the dramatic situation of refugees fleeing the regime. North Korean refugees, if they do not have identity documents and are found on Chinese territory, are deported back to their homeland upon capture. Homeless Woman. In my opinion, this is the most moving film we will watch today. The film depicts the fate of a 23-year-old poverty-stricken girl who became widely discussed in the media worldwide when her situation was documented by a reporter in North Korea. The reporter Kim Dong-cheol was conducting secret reports in Pyongan province in June 2010 when he came across an emaciated, soot-covered woman on the outskirts of a city. Her weak voice revealed that she had recently lost her parents' home and since then has been living on the street. Her name was not recorded as the reporter noted she was too weak to be fully understood. Unfortunately, shortly after the release of the film, the woman was found dead in a field. It is suspected that the cause of death was starvation and exhaustion. The reporter emphasized in an interview, her body had apparently started decomposing before it was discovered, but local officials of the Ministry of People's Security showed no interest in solving the case. According to Asia Press, the crisis caused by the currency denomination in November 2009 led to an increase in the number of homeless people across the country, and in some regions people were dying of hunger. Unfortunately, she too became a victim of this inept plan. Ju Xianjian. He is a North Korean defector who was sentenced to 11 years in prison for robbery and illegal crossing of the Chinese-North Korean border. In 2021, he escaped from a Chinese prison and evaded the police for 40 days before being recaptured. His escape was captured by security cameras and later published on the internet. Ju was a coal miner from North Hamgyong province and a member of the Korean People's Army Special Operation Force. In 2013, he illegally crossed the border into China. After crossing the border, Ju committed a series of crimes, including burglary and theft, and also injured an elderly woman who caught him. An attempt to escape by taxi was unsuccessful, and Ju was apprehended by the Chinese police. In March 2010, following a trial in Yangji, Jilin, Ju was sentenced for his crimes, theft, robbery, and illegal border crossing. The court imposed a fine of 16,000 yuan and an 11-year prison sentence, after which he was to be deported back to North Korea. While serving his sentence, Ju was forced into labor and ideological indoctrination. On October 18th and 19th, 2021, Ju managed to escape from the prison in Jilin using a shed and the roof of a building, then breaking the electric fence with a rope. Ju's escape triggered a nationwide alarm and significant interest on social media. The authorities increased the reward for information leading to his capture to 700,000 yuan, 82,000 pounds, $109,000, to increase the chances of finding him. After 40 days of searching, Ju was arrested on November 28th. The echoes of his escape and capture resonated in the media. Some speculated that his motive for escaping prison could have been fear of deportation to North Korea, where execution or other forms of severe punishment awaited him. North Korean defectors like Ju, upon deportation, may face execution, sexual abuse, and torture. Kim Dong-chul is a Korean-American businessman who was imprisoned by the North Korean government in 2015. Kim was sentenced to 10 years of hard labor for alleged espionage, to which he publicly confessed, although there are doubts about the authenticity of such confessions, considering North Korea's practices of extracting confessions under pressure. Kim Dong-chul was born on April 24, 1953, in South Korea. He emigrated to the United States in the 1970s and became a naturalized citizen. Before his detention, he ran a business in the Rason Special Economic Zone, an area near the border with China and Russia that North Korea designated for international trade. In October 2015, he was detained by North Korean authorities. After months in captivity, he appeared at a government press conference in Pyongyang in March 2016, where he confessed to espionage charges and claimed to have collaborated with conservative elements in South Korea to gather information on North Korea's military and nuclear programs. However, the South Korean intelligence agency, the National Intelligence Service, denied any collaboration with Kim. In April 2016, he was sentenced to 10 years of hard labor after a brief trial. His case drew international attention, along with other Americans detained in North Korea, including Otto Warmbier and Kim Hak-song. In May 2010, Kim Dong-chul, along with Kim Hak-song and Tony Kim, another detained American, was released following a meeting between North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and then U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. The men returned to the United States, where they were welcomed by then-President Donald Trump. Oh Chong-sun is a North Korean defector, one of the few people who managed to illegally cross the Joint Security Area, GSA. He previously served in the Korean People's Army as a staff sergeant. On November 13, 2017, during his escape, Chong-sun drove straight into the military demarcation line. This act was recorded by South Korean security cameras, turning it into an internet sensation. When his car got stuck, he decided to abandon the vehicle and started running on foot towards South Korea. It wasn't an ordinary sprint, as Chong-sun was also fleeing from bullets, several of which wounded him. The man was shot 5 times and fell on South Korean territory. South Korean soldiers risked their lives to rescue the injured and unconscious defector. Emergency assistance was quickly called, and he was transported to a safe location from where a helicopter airlifted him to a hospital. The medical team made heroic efforts to save his life, treating not only the gunshot wounds, but also the effects of malnutrition and numerous parasitic infections. His dire health condition attested to the harsh conditions in North Korea. His defection was a significant blow to the North Korean regime, suggesting that even the military class, which had certain privileges, was not immune to frustration and depression. It elicited reactions worldwide, particularly among those concerned about human rights in this closed country. North Korea's response was typical: vehement denial and attempts to defame Chung Son, claiming he was a criminal. In contrast, South Korea used the incident to highlight its stance on human rights and commitment to assisting North Korean defectors.